day. As very infrequently of late, I am Mason, and he is Gautam, and we are back to do some podcasting. Life has been just a wee bit crazy for the both of us, and it's made it quite difficult to either find the time or find the motivation to sit at a computer and talk at screens when you're, always sitting at a computer and talking at screens for work. So it's been a while. We are back. We have every intention of being back every week now. So, Gautam, welcome back to the pod. How you doing? I probably should have put more cards up in my display because that looks very empty.
Thank you so much. Good to be here. Good to talk to you. Nice to see you. And yes, you do need to fill those gaps, but we're just getting back into it. And I'll give you grace this week. But next week, you're going to be in trouble.
Yeah, I got to figure out what's going to go in there because it's not big enough for the Ryan rainbow. I have the Topps Chrome autographs, but his Topps update, I'm up to 40 of the 56.
Impressive.
So, yeah, I'm kind of out of space. So, well, hey, what do you say we just shake off the rust and we just try and do this thing?
Let's see if we still got it.
So, we have missed the entirety of spring training and the first quarter of the season. So we have a lot to talk about. We are not going to get to everything today. We have a couple of things that we do want to hit on that I think are probably some of the more important things. And first is that we have a new best team in baseball this year. You can look at the rosters and say the Dodgers are still the best team in baseball, but they're not playing like it. Like, they're playing close, but they're not playing like it. They're not all locked in at the same time. And who has surpassed them? Surely it's got to be like, I don't know, the Phillies or the Mets or the Cubs getting Alex Bregman. Surely it's one of them, right? Or yeah, the Yankees, one of these American League teams. The Red Sox were taken off this year, if I remember right. No. At 32-15, our 2023 World Series champion, Atlanta Braves, are back on top. And they are doing it in a big, big way. I believe they have the second most runs scored in all of baseball, with 250 runs scored, which is only behind their division rival, the Washington Nationals, for runs scored.
Amazing.
They've also only given up 152 runs, which, as I'm looking at this, appears to be the best in the National League and the best in the American League. So they have the second best lineup as far as runs or production, and the single best pitching staff as far as production. So I think it's pretty easy to say that with a 681 win percentage and those numbers right there, already a plus 98 run differential in May, they're clicking.
That they are, yeah. I mean, I will say, though, going back to like last year, we kind of called this. We said we've been huge proponents of the Braves and them bouncing back from kind of a wild series of events with all kinds of injuries, all kinds of underperformance, all combined together, where nobody played up to their talent levels at the same time, and that's kind of a weird thing to happen. It's definitely a low probability outcome. But now the Braves are just a year removed from that, and they're looking like the Braves that we know and we love. But yeah, it's fun when a team can do that, because if you actually look at what we were seeing in spring training, we were worried again about the Braves because they had a whole host of new injuries, especially to their pitching staff, and they've somehow been able to have the depth to survive it, and it's impressive.
Well, I mean, whenever your top performers are the guys that you're always expecting, such as, I don't know, Spencer Strider, Ronald Acuna, Austin Riley, guys like that, yeah, of course you're going to be the best.
Yeah,
Except
exactly.
for none of them are actually the guys that are playing really well right now. Strider has been hurt most of the year. He's only made 3 starts, pitched 14 innings. So he's been pretty much a non-factor. Acuna has been hurt for about, 10 games, 12 games?
Something like that, yeah.
So he's not really been the guy. They've been doing
And even
this.
before then, he wasn't producing. He wasn't the guy like putting up big numbers. It's all these other guys.
Yeah, they're
Drake Baldwin, right?
Drake Baldwin, Matt Olson, and blast from the past, Ozzy Albies are leading this team right now.
I love how blast from the past is 29-year-old Ozzy Albies.
Well, I mean, it's been like 2 or 3 years since he's actually been a solid hitter. So,
Fair.
and his defense kind of went down last year too. So I was really surprised to see him stick here. I think he's one of the guys that's near the end of his contract. So if they were going to move on from anybody, it seemed like it would be him. So, but anyway, between those 3 guys, Matt Olson, Drake Baldwin, and Ozzy Albies, we have 35 home runs. The lowest batting average for those 3 guys is 277. That's Ozzy. Both Olson and Baldwin are 160 or higher WRC plus. Like, these guys are all locked in. They're walking a ton, 10.9% and 10.1% for Olson and Baldwin respectively. None of them are striking out really all that much at all. And their BABIPs are not crazy stupid high compared to their averages. Like, the biggest difference between average and BABIP for those 3 guys is Drake Baldwin with a 304 average and a 339 BABIP. That's not insane. Like, he's not getting crazy luck that is factoring into this. He is just playing incredibly well. And then think about this. Catcher, we don't frequently get those that can hit really well. Those are Drake Baldwin's numbers. And last night, he hit a home run 485 feet.
Impressive. Yeah, and it was off a lefty. It was off Peyton Tolle. Like, that's not an easy thing to do for
Yeah.
a left-handed hitter. I mean, unreal. This guy is not just, I mean, he's obviously one of the best players on the Braves, but he seems like he's one of the best players in the league, especially considering that he's a catcher. I mean, I'm seeing he's like 11th in the league in wins above replacement to this point in the season. He scored 39 runs. That is unheard of for a catcher in the first couple of months of a season.
Well,
I cannot believe this is happening.
And I know that we're not talking about him much at all, but I do want to give just a little moment of love here to the other catcher that's doing exactly this year, in Shea Langoliers. Braves prospect traded to the A's for Matt Olson.
Yeah.
And Shea is playing better than Olson and Drake Baldwin. So
yeah. That's a fun trade tree to follow, I would say.
Yeah. And I mean, if you're the Braves, you're not seeing Shea be the 4th best hitter in baseball to this point in the season and feeling too bad about it, because it cleared space for Baldwin and got you Matt Olson. So really, you've turned one guy into 2. So, but the Braves are just, the offense is clicking. You've got a rebound season from Michael Harris, who really struggled the first like 2/3 of last year. And I believe it towards the end of the season, he started to figure it out, but he's picked right up where he left off. He's hitting 330, he's hitting 301, 330 OBP, 500 slug. And Manning center, or is he Manning center right now?
Yep, he's a center fielder.
Yeah, because Acuna plays right when he's healthy.
Yeah, Harris always plays center.
Yeah, okay. So yeah, but Michael Harris is playing just about as well as you could hope right now for a 25-year-old guy. He's the youngest guy in the lineup other than Drake Baldwin. So
Yeah, I didn't even realize that it's just kind of all coming together. I've been a big fan of Harris for a while, but the last couple of years he hasn't really been as good as he was his rookie season, and it seemed like each year he was actually getting worse. And this year he's like completely put it all together and 132 WRC plus. I mean, elite defense. This guy is probably an all-star,
so
just like the rest of the team.
yeah. So something I've noticed about this Braves lineup is it basically is a conglomeration of an example of every type of improvement that we're seeing across the league for all these young hitters. Because you could compare Michael Harris's kind of resurgent breakout from his rookie season being his only like decent season to Jordan Walker doing the exact same. They're both incredibly young guys. They're both playing the best they've ever played. You have Drake Baldwin, who I just compared to Shea Langoliers. Like you've got your Matt Olson, your superstar that's just still doing it, kind of Aaron Judge-esque. Like you have basically in a comp of a great player somewhere else in the league that you can just say, hey, the Braves have all of these things going on at the same time, which is nutty.
Yeah, and it's all happening without, on paper, their best player, Acuna, not even really contributing a whole lot. I mean, he had 2 home runs in his 34 games.
And even that, I could find a comp for that. Juan Soto.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. But tell me about their pitching staff, though, because this is where I'm not really... Like, I know Chris Sale's dominating. Chris Sale always dominates. But who else are they doing this with? Strider kind of on the IL. They've had Martin Perez make 5 starts. Like, talk me through this, because it doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah, I guess I'll start with the easy part to understand is that their bullpen has been one of the best, if not the best, in the league. Raisel Iglesias' ERA is still triple zeros at this point in the season. He's only pitched 13 innings. I think he was on the IL for 10, 15 days or so. But, I mean, that's solid. Robert Suarez, who was their big offseason signing, his ERA is 0.47 here in mid-May. But aside from Sale in the starting rotation, they are also missing. I'm trying to pull up their...
so Carrasco
IL.
is hurt. Or Carrasco's not pitched, really. I had this pulled up, but see, Bryce Elder has made all of his starts.
Yeah, so Bryce Elder has been great this season, and I'm not sure I'm buying that, but he has done this from time to time. If you remember, there was that season where he was an all-star with a bunch of other Braves all-stars, and then he kind of fell off. But right now, they're getting the good version of Bryce Elder. Strider just came back, as you mentioned. Grant Holmes is a solid back-end guy. Yeah, I don't know. I agree. It's kind of surprising that they're doing as well as they are with this group.
What I'm seeing, just looking at their pitching stats leaders here, just the generic pitching stats leader page on Fangraphs, is that if you can get through 5 innings with your starter, with Dylan Lee, Robert Suarez, Raisel Iglesias, and where did it go? Even Tyler Kinley, who has been kind of the worst of the regulars as far as relievers are concerned. It's lockdown. You cannot score a run off of them. Kenley is your best chance, and even then, he's not playing poorly. Yeah. He's just the most hittable of those 4. So, yeah, it's kind of, if you can get Grant Holmes through 5, if you can get Ronaldo Lopez for 5 of his 9
He,
appearances.
he just got moved to the bullpen actually because he was struggling.
Okay.
But I think
JR,
his stuff kind of plays up as a reliever. I think he's going to be better as a reliever.
yeah. Because I mean, that's what he was so successful at, and then they
Yeah.
transitioned him back to a starter. So, him going back to reliever, he's familiar with the role. His stuff does play up. I think that'll work out well. But yeah, they've got just like a couple spot starts in here from like DDA Fuentes, from JR Ritchie, Jose Suarez. So they're kind of just mixing and matching, waiting for everybody to come back.
Yeah, and that's the thing that the Braves are showing, both offense and pitching, is that they have really, really good depth. Because look at their pitching IL right now: Spencer Schwellenbach, AJ Smith Shawver, Hurston Waldrep, Joey Wentz. That's 4 legit MLB starters on the IL, and they're still able to succeed.
Jeez. And then I didn't realize that Dylan Dodd was on the IL too.
Oh yeah, Dylan Dodd's on the IL too. So yeah, even more hits to depth, and they have not skipped a beat. One other thing, have you noticed the bench that they've kind of put together here, and how much success their new players are actually having? Look at the year that Dom Smith has had as a part-time player. He's hitting 353 on the season.
Three 349, 376, 523. Good lord.
Yep.
4
It's not a
home runs
typo.
and 94 plate appearances.
Oh. And then Hasong Kim just came off the IL. So they've been doing this whole thing with like makeshift shortstop platoon of Mauricio Dubon, Jorge Mateo, and every button that Alex Anthopoulos seems to press this year is working like to perfection.
Dang. And Austin Riley, I was looking at his numbers. He's still struggling.
He is still struggling, yeah.
Like it's kind of odd that he's the guy that's not able to figure it out.
Yeah.
Because for
Agreed.
years he was kind of like their key at third base. But it looks like Yastrzemski there at the bottom of the lineup, at least giving him a solid presence in right field. He's not been abysmal at, well, he's not been good, but he's not been like get him off the team bad. No, this is a really intriguing team. They have a lot of guys, veteran guys that I did not know that they had. Sandy Leone, Kyle Farmer, Jose Azocar, Yastrzemski. I kind of forget.
That's what Anthopoulos does. He like scours that waiver wire, and he's like always making moves. He's not afraid to shake up the bottom of the roster constantly, and he's doing a good job at it. Like sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, but this year seems like he's getting it right.
Well, and he kind of dodged a bullet on one guy that he did not re-sign. And that's Marcell Ozuna, who's over with the Pirates. Ozuna has been just bad.
Yeah,
he's hitting 182 this year. He's only got 5 home runs and 166 plate appearances. And that's kind of what Ozuna did for this lineup. Was he hit home runs and he had like a 220, 230 average, right?
Yeah, I mean, last year he was pretty bad too. I think they were definitely ready to move on after the history there too.
Yeah. So even looking at their outfield options and Yaz not hitting well, he's still hitting better than the guy that they used to have. So you're looking at that as Alex Anthopoulos, and you're like, okay, I'm doing some things right here, because even our Achilles heel is really just kind of like a sore heel.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, I guess one thing about the Braves we have not talked about is they actually have a new manager. They have Walt Weiss stepping in for Snitker, who, retired as a manager. I think he's still with the organization to hit his 50 years in the Braves organization. But how much do you think that factors into the Braves' success, just having a new leader of the team?
I think it definitely helps. Snit was definitely a little bit more on the old school side as far as pitching. Like it didn't seem like he was as willing to play with the options as Walt Weiss is this year, and Weiss is doing it partially because he has to. He doesn't really have any choice. But it did always seem like if the Braves had lost Spencer Strider, then all of a sudden you just had one guy that you were just going to give him the innings no matter what, and it didn't really work out. So I think that it's definitely a change of pace, and I think that's what some of these guys needed. And you see it from just the vets on the staff. They seem to be here. They seem to be playing better, and without being in the clubhouse, it's hard to know how much of that is Walt Weiss and how much of that is just when things are going right, things tend to be better.
Yeah, I was going to say everybody's happy if you have like 30 wins at this point in the season. So
yeah. So, but yeah. So I don't know. It's definitely probably a good part of this resurgence, though, is just getting that veteran manager presence. It's not bringing in a guy with no experience. It's this Walt Weiss has been around the block. So you trust him, you think he knows what he's doing, and he's been able to get the most out of all these guys. So
yeah, and maybe he's setting himself up for a long tenure as Braves manager, just like Snitker, just like Bobby Cox. I mean, the Braves kind of have a history of keeping a good manager in place for a long time.
Now, speaking of getting the most out of players, I kind of want to switch gears a little bit and talk about some non-Braves players. We had a conversation yesterday about Davis Martin and the season that he is having. And I wanted to take a look at him and one or two other players and kind of dive into it and see, are they underrated and people are not giving them the love that they deserve right now, or are they just massively overperforming and they're about to come back to earth? So I want to start with Davis Martin and a little bit of background for those of not Gautam. Davis Martin, through his start yesterday, has the fourth highest F-WAR of all pitchers, period. He has 2.1 F-WAR in 56 innings. His previous career high for WAR was 1.3 in 142 innings last year. So something is different. This dude is pitching out of his mind, and I wanted to figure out what was happening. So I started looking at just a couple of data points here, and there's a few things that I noticed. First of all, his arm slot has changed. Minimally, but it has changed. He's come down 2 more degrees, a little bit closer to sidearm. And along with that, he has a new pitch mix, and he's increased his velo on a couple of those pitches that he is using more this year. So I guess before I get into that, Gautam, what are your initial thoughts on Davis Martin, just from what you saw yesterday in the Cubs-White Sox game? And then I'll get into the pitch mix.
Well, unfortunately, I missed most of the game, but I did see the end of Davis Martin's start. He gave up a home run, and then he got through the 6th inning with a little bit of trouble. But yeah, I mean, this guy's like going deep in starts. I have been following Davis Martin like throughout his career, and I've got to say I'm surprised because he's never done anything quite like this. Maybe we'll try to get to the root of that in our conversation here, but wow, like this is our guy this year that just defies all expectations, but that's what makes it kind of fun.
And he's pitching better than Paul Skeens.
And Paul Skeens is a scrub. He gave up 5 runs in 5 innings today.
Yeah, he's had Skeens has had 3 starts where he's given up more than 3 earned runs.
He should probably
retire.
Yeah.
Yeah. Become a catcher.
He's a bullpen catcher. A bullpen catcher.
Yeah, bullpen catcher. Well, he's been a catcher before is the thing.
Yeah, I know.
So, but Davis Martin, he has somehow increased his strikeout rate from 6.5 Ks per nine up to 9.5 Ks per nine. That, for those of you who don't really understand the per nines, that is 17.3% up to 27.4%. That is a massive increase in strikeouts. So how is he doing it? Well, he used to have a 4-pitch mix, and now he has a 5-pitch mix. Actually, no. He used to have a 5-pitch mix, and now he has a 6-pitch mix. That's what it is. But basically, he has reduced his usage of fastballs, period. He used to throw 56% of his pitches were going to be either a 4-seamer or a cutter. And yeah, a cutter moves different than a 4-seamer, but if you're always throwing the same speed at a mostly straight pitch to a major league hitter, eventually they're going to start turning on him, and that's how you end up with an ERA somewhere in the 4.1, 4.3, 4.8 range that he's been in the past. Now he's down to 39% for his 4-seamer and his cutter. So he has cut it by 17%. Along with that, he did increase his sinker usage. So adding another fastball back in there, increase that by 5%, but there's still 12% of your repertoire that, where is it? Well, it's a slider. He has a new slider this year. His slider in the past, he used it so rarely, 4% of the time. And it was slow. It's an 83 mile an hour slider. This year, 15% of the time, he's given you an 87 mile an hour slider. So, and it has been incredibly effective. He's also throwing more curveballs, and he's throwing those harder with a 3 mile an hour increase. And he's reduced the usage of his changeup to the point where now, when he uses it, it's missing bats. But it's the same pitch. Everything, the spin rate, the speed, everything about his changeup says it's the same. But it's 4 times more effective than it has been in the past. So, pitch mix usage, increasing that solidish changeup to become a really good changeup is kind of what I'm seeing.
Yeah, it's very interesting. Like you're looking at it from the results perspective, but I guess I'm not seeing the fundamental changes. Like you can look at a stat like Stuff Plus, and Stuff Plus thinks that Davis Martin's pitches are all below average still. And they've always been below average, and they still are below average.
But his location is improved.
Locations this year are the best they've ever been. They're like 5 points better than they were last year, which maybe he's just locked in on his locations, and he must be feeling healthy because his velocity is the highest it's ever been. You mentioned the slider velocity. I think that makes a big difference when you're able to throw that hard breaking ball. So, yeah, I fully believe that this is the best Davis Martin that we've ever seen, but is this going to keep up? I'm going to bet heavily on no.
See, I don't believe he's going to be a 1.6 ERA guy. But
nobody is, not even Paul Skeens.
Yeah. Well, Ohtani might be.
Yeah, but he's a different story.
Yeah. But everything that I'm seeing about Davis Martin, like even his swinging strike rate last year was like abnormally low for him. It's back to normal. Like he's back to 12.5%, 9.5.
Okay, that's pretty bad. Like that's below average for a starter.
Yeah, and now it's up to 12.5, which is what it was in his rookie season and his 2024, which were both short stints. Those were not full seasons. But he's getting more called strikes because of the better location. A little bit is probably because of ABS. And so I think with those changes or those differences, along with the changes to pitch mix, the fact that he's got different pitches that are Like that slider is just incredibly effective so far this year. And his expected ERA, his expected FIP are all saying that this is a massively improved Davis Martin, even by the underlying numbers, by about a run and a half to 2 runs on the expecteds. So by that logic, he's probably around a 3 ERA guy, which is a very good pitcher. So I still think he's underrated. I think he's not 4th best pitcher in Major League Baseball, but I am still putting him in that underrated category.
Okay. Sounds good. Yeah.
So other guy, and you're going to have to explain this one to me because I think this is just overperformed, period, straight up. Mickey Moniak, outfielder for the Colorado Rockies. This is a guy who was supposed to be the next big thing in Philadelphia as a center fielder, was not good. Then he was in Los Angeles with the Angels, was not good. And then he came over to Colorado last year, was better, but not good. And this year, he has the 7th highest WRC plus in baseball, ahead of guys like Drake Baldwin, Matt Olson, Munetaka Murakami. So, how?
Yeah.
How is he doing this?
Let's just take a step back and talk about that Phillies time for a quick second. So, as you mentioned, Moniak, huge prospect in the sense that like he was the number 1 overall pick. He wasn't just like a first rounder. He was like the guy. People had a lot of questions about like why he was the number 1 overall pick, but fact of the matter, the Phillies decided this guy was a better pick than any other guy they could have taken in that year's draft. He sort of struggled his way through the minor leagues, and then he did not succeed at all in his time in Philly. But the thing about Mickey Moniak is he's got pretty impressive physical tools. Like he's always had big amounts of power. He's a fast runner. He's a great defensive outfielder with plenty of range and an arm and everything. So you can see the makings of like why this guy was touted and the future potential you can see in a guy like Moniak. And then you put that in Coors Field, and this can happen for like a 2-month stretch. But to your point about like how is he doing this, this also does not feel like something that can keep up, because the one big huge flaw in Mickey Moniak's game is that he has horrible plate discipline and not the best ability to make contact with the ball. That sort of gets helped by Coors Field, where more balls drop in than any other place, and then of course the ball travels as well. But I'm looking at like his Statcast page right now, where I see 5th percentile in chase percentage, 30th percentile in whiff percentage, 17th percentile in walk percentage. So once he kind of reverts back to what his 25% strikeout rate is saying that he should do, this is probably not going to keep up to the same level. But he's on some kind of heater right now.
So I want you to read me the chase rate, whiff rate, and K rate percentiles again.
Yep. So he has a 41.6% chase rate. So that means he's going outside of the strike zone on like 40%, over 40% of pitches. That's 5th percentile.
5th percentile. Okay.
Yeah.
Whiff rate?
He's whiffing 28.6% of the time. That's 30th percentile.
Okay.
And then his strikeout rate is 25.5%. That's 29th percentile. And then his walk rate is 6%, which is actually high for him. Like that's the most he's ever walked basically in his entire career. And that's 17th percentile. It's bottom barrel plate discipline.
Okay. And then one more thing I want you to tell me. What is his barrel percentage?
His barrel percentage is a robust 15%, which is 87th percentile.
Okay, the reason I had you read me those is because those chase rates and whiff rates are acceptable in some cases. Those cases being you're the type of guy that when you do make contact, it goes a very, very, very long way. Guys like Aaron Judge, guys like Kyle Schwarber, guys like Jordan Walker, they all have really low percentile whiff rates, chase rates. They usually have a higher K rate, but those guys walk and they have elite barrel rates and hard hit rates. Mickey Moniak does not have that.
He does, though. Go look. They're good. They've always been good. I'll tell you. He had a 12.9% in 23, 9.4% in 24, 13.8% in 25, and now he's at 15%.
Well, yeah, but I'm talking guys with like 18% barrel rate and like a 54% hard hit rate. Like guys that are consistently like just mashing the ball every time they make contact. And so like his chase tendencies and his normal human amount of power make it not very effective unless you're in the right environment, which seems to be kind of what's happening right now. Because he's got just his actual numbers for this year sound incredible because they are. He's batting 307, 356, 664 with 12 home runs. Now, where it gets a little bit weird is his expected batting average is 60 points lower. It is a 240 average. His expected slug is 503. That is 160 points lower.
Yeah.
Like, so
he's also got some like clear flaws. He cannot really hit lefties. He's hitting 179 with 2 of his 12 homers against lefties. And then, of course, the home road split. 351 at home, 254 on the road. So it's like in certain situations, Mickey Moniak he's a top tier like hitter against right-handed pitching at home.
I can actually give a little bit of context as to why, because I think I figured it out. So I went and looked at 2 things. I looked at his like ground ball, line drive, fly ball rates, which he's only hitting a line drive 10% of the time. He's either hitting a ground ball 40% of the time or a fly ball 55% of the time. And the other thing is, this is the lowest fastball usage against of his entire career. People are just not throwing him fastballs. What are they throwing him? Sliders. Guess what he's absolutely mashing? Sliders. Guess what don't move very well in the elevation? Sliders. So I think it's legitimately they're throwing him pitches that they think they're going to get by him, but instead they're throwing him something that is not moving. It's going middle, and then he's able to get the bat on it because he swings it every pitch always. So if a slider doesn't break, you're going to run right into it.
I mean, you have to throw sliders against a guy that's got plate discipline this bad. He just seems to be mashing them. Maybe they're just bad sliders, you know?
Well, that's what I'm thinking. But because he's never been able to hit the fastball. Like if you go look at his stats, no. And so the fact that they're not throwing him is not because he got really good at hitting them. He's actually hitting them better this year because they're throwing less of them.
The fastballs?
Mm-hmm.
But how did he do against sliders in the past?
Abysmal.
Okay.
Absolutely abysmal.
So it makes sense the strategy the teams would take by throwing him more sliders because he was really bad at hitting them.
Except they're doing it at Coors because he's hitting them at Coors. He's not hitting them on the road.
Yeah. So it's a number of things. But he played at Coors last year, though.
Yeah, but they also were throwing him more fastballs last year.
Okay.
So
you're really not a fan of Mickey Moniak here,
no,
at all. You don't think this is
not at all. This is not like literally 4 seams. He's seeing 10% fewer 4 seams. He's seeing about 0.8% fewer cutters. That's not really all that much. 2% lower splitters, and about a 0.5% lower sinker. So all in all, that's like 18% lower fastballs that he's seeing, and he's seeing an increase of like 6% on the slider, 3 or 4% on knuckle curve. He's seen a couple of actual knuckleballs. He's seeing more changeups. So he's just seeing off speed and breaking in a place that fastballs play better. So, and that's all relative to last year, not his career average.
We should go back and look to find the last Rockies guy that like had two back-to-back seasons that were really good because it always feels like it's a different guy every year.
I
And this year it's just Mickey Moniak's year.
I think it would be fairly easy to find that. I think
I
it's
mean, it would
the
be Nolan Arenado or like
Charlie
Story.
Blackmon or Trevor
Yeah.
Story or Troy Tulowitzki, or like one of the guys that went on to be good elsewhere too.
I guess maybe I'm thinking of like the bad Rockies.
What
It
about
seems like every year they've had one guy and the guy can never do it the second year.
what about like a CJ Crone or a Ryan McMahon?
Yeah, I mean, Ryan McMahon year after year was kind of like park adjusted. He was pretty bad. He was right around average or even worse than average every year. CJ Crone had one awesome year in Colorado, and then he was terrible after that.
Gotcha. But so I think the moral of the story is, though, Mickey Moniak is not this guy. He never has been. He has the tools, like the raw tools, but unless we're seeing a Jurickson Profar, which I'm starting to believe might have been enhanced by illegal things, I don't. Right. I'm not sure what's giving me that impression.
But the Jurickson Profar resurgence didn't happen in Colorado, right? They cut him because he was so bad. Then he joined the Padres and he became good.
And then he got 2 consecutive steroid bans. So yeah.
Correct. Yeah.
So I don't know. But Davis Martin, also not real, but also not fake.
Yeah, we're buying it a little bit more.
Okay. Cool. I kind of like this. I want to find more guys to do this with, but for today, I think this is all that I had. So
sounds good. Yeah.
But I was super invested, and I have strong opinions on those two.
Yeah, I just hope that Mickey Moniak can keep doing it because it would be a funny season to have.
Oh, it would be hysterical.
Yeah.
Okay, so we got one more topic for tonight, and that is some of these early season oddities. And the specific oddities that I'm referring to are some of the best teams in baseball playing like some of the worst teams in baseball and making drastic decisions based on it. 27 games into the season, the Boston Red Sox were 10-17, coming off an 18-1 victory in Baltimore. So what did they do? They promptly fired Alex Cora and most of the staff, who then went and took an Instagram photo in front of a private jet saying, "We're finally free." And they brought up Chad Tracy from, I believe, AAA.
From Worcester, yep.
Yep, AAA Worcester, to be their interim manager. Now, what have they done since then? They've gone 9-10. That's an improvement over 10-17. It just is. But it's also not insanely good. Like, and I also don't think Alex Cora was the reason that team was so bad.
Right. Yeah. So, no, I was shocked when this happened because like Alex Cora is pretty well regarded as a manager. He's, won the World Series. He is supposed to be very well liked by the players themselves. And the players themselves were very confused on the Red Sox too. I think Trevor Story was saying, he wishes he was consulted on this. Like they're going to talk to the players about whether they should fire their boss. But that's another story. Yeah, it was bizarre because when have we ever seen managerial firing this early in the season? It's just usually you wait until at least Memorial Day to take stock of like where your team is, see if you got to make a shake up or whatever, kind of decide if you're going to go in that buyer seller side of the trade deadline. But here they're like drastically going and making this change. But I guess um, that's Boston. They're kind of known for reacting strongly.
Yeah, except fans hated this decision. Like fans were sending letters. Didn't know people in Boston knew that you could still send letters. I thought they just yelled at you from the street, but they were sending letters to the owner about how poor of a decision this was. And they're right. Like the Chad Tracy's not been able to do a whole lot better. The team is just underperforming. They have 3 like solid hitters so far this year, and that's Wilyer Abreu, who is not a big power guy. He's not going to drive in a metric crap load of runs, but he's been pretty solid. Wilson Contreras, who has been their best hitter, quite frankly. He's got 9 home runs. He's got, I guess technically Abreu's been a better hitter, but like Wilson is every bit as advertised is what he was supposed to be. And Ceden Rafaela, who is also not a big power guy. He's more of a defensive dude, but everyone else is just not doing anything. Roman Anthony has 0.3 WAR. He's hitting 229. Carlos Narvaez, we didn't really expect him to be a big offensive presence, but he's their 4th best hitter. Like, and then on the pitching side, they're kind of in the same boat. Like Sonny Gray is he's got a 3.18 ERA. It's decent, but he's not striking anybody out. He's got 0.4 WAR. Garrett Whitlock has been probably one of their better pitchers, and he's in purely a relief role this year. Like Ranger Suarez is the only like good pitcher that they've got so far. So when you've got one good starter and a couple good relievers, admittedly, you're only setting yourself up to win once every 5 days if you're getting the run support, which they're clearly not. So how is that Alex Cora's fault?
Somebody's got to take the blame. That's all it is. It's not
And
based
Craig
on.
Breslow can't do that? I
He's
know
not
that
gonna
he's
fire
not going to fire
himself.
himself, but
Yeah, that would be a new one.
yeah.
We're 10-17. I'm gonna fire myself. I take full responsibility for building the whole roster that's underperforming. My bad.
Yeah, I'm thinking maybe Boston needs to quit hiring these guys out of Tampa.
Hey, they hired him out of the Cubs.
Oh, well, they shouldn't do that either.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't know. We had a conversation a while back when this happened, and I think the only way this ends is when Craig Breslow gets fired. Inevitably, that is going to happen in the next couple years here. I just can't see another way this ends for the Red Sox. They've been doing this for literally decades, where they have very short leashes on all their managers, especially their executives, really, where no matter what success the guys had, it's very much where are we right now? What are you doing for me today?
Even when the owner is the one making decisions on what they should and shouldn't do. Because I mean, Heim Bloom got fired for doing what he was told.
Correct.
Yeah. So like this is a very weird organization. I don't fully understand how it functions.
It's I would say it's certainly dysfunctional, but it has like it weirdly has the ability to reach extreme highs but also extreme lows. Cuz
Yeah.
I mean the Red Sox have had amazing success from a big picture perspective. They've won 4 World Series this century. It's crazy.
Yeah, and Alex Cora was a big part of the like 2017, 2018 like era of Red Sox that was incredibly successful. So I guess 2017 he was with Houston, right?
Correct, yeah.
Yeah. But still, Alex Cora has been a massive presence there, and now he's out. We have interim everything's, because basically the entire major league staff was let go, with the exception of a few specific guys. But it wasn't the hitting coach, it wasn't the pitching coach that got to keep their jobs. So
didn't the pitching coach keep his job?
You're right. The pitching coach kept his job. Everyone else did not. The bench coach gone. The hitting coach gone. The what do you call it? The analytical guy that basically says what we're supposed to do. He's gone.
There was some coordinator or something, and then like Jason Veritek got reassigned, and
Yeah,
it was a whole thing. But to be fair, that I agree with. If you're gonna get let go of the manager, might as well get rid of everyone, right? You got to bring in a true new staff.
yes, but it's incredibly difficult to do that mid-season.
Oh yeah,
and
agreed.
expect to rebound in that same season.
Yeah,
which is
sure.
why you would make this move so early, is because you think there's a chance to turn it around.
Yeah, and they should believe that, right? Because this team was absolutely expected to be one of the best teams in the American League, and they're not.
Yeah, which the entire American League, we could spend an entire episode about that and how it's just underperforming, period.
Yeah.
But we don't have time for that tonight. I do want to talk about one other thing, or one other move, and that is Dave Dombrowski seeing an opportunity, seeing Alex Cora without a job, and going, we're 9-19. One of the best managers available is available almost at the beginning of the year. Buy Rob Thompson. Try and offer the job to Alex Cora, who turned it down. He's going to spend the season with his family, I guess, reevaluate. But I do fully expect to see Alex Cora going and touring with all the teams and taking the best contract he can for next season. But so Rob Thompson is out. Don Mattingly was the bench coach under Rob Thompson this year, after being the bench coach in Toronto last year. So he is now the interim manager, and this Phillies team that was abysmal to start the year has gone on a 15-4 run since Don Mattingly has taken over the helm. So did the Phillies just find their manager of the next couple of years?
No, I think they already said that he was only going to be an interim guy. Like, they kind of almost pushed him into this because, like you mentioned with the Cora situation, they would have preferred to hire Cora right there. That would have been quite a fascinating thing to see a manager get a new job within the same season. But first one for Rob Thompson. Like, Rob Thompson is the winningest manager in Phillies history from a winning percentage standpoint. And no loyalty was shown to the guy that got them to a World Series, had them improving each year under his managerial tenure. Like, they were winning more and more games every year. Very steady hand. And he also had not lost his clubhouse by any means. Like, they have a very strong group of leaders with the Phillies, and they all backed Rob Thompson. It was just another one of those situations where, like, oh, they got off to a 9-19 start. Somebody's got to take the brunt of this, and unfortunately, it was Rob Thompson. I feel like this was not deserved at all, and everybody knew the Phillies were going to rebound. Nobody was truly concerned that they were going to, like, be one of the worst teams in the league. That just never felt like it could actually happen. So yeah. I think it was dumb. I don't think they needed to do that.
I also think it was dumb. I think they did it specifically to try and get Cora, and when that didn't happen, it was kind of like egg on their face.
They were like, we're doing it.
Yeah, it's like, you can't hire Rob Thompson back.
Yeah, exactly.
But no, and this team has had a weird start to the year. Like, even with them going on this 15-4 run, if you just look at the overall season numbers for everybody on the team, there's not many guys that have like eye-poppingly solid to good numbers. Like, yes, Kyle Schwarber has been very good recently, and to the point where he is like the major league leader in home runs with 20. He's hitting his normal like 240 average and driving in a bunch of runs. Bryce Harper has started getting going. He's hitting 283 with almost 920 OPS, I think, if I can read that or if I can add correctly.
All right.
And 11 more home runs. Brandon Marsh has been hitting for average, and that's been helping. And then Justin Crawford has been a massive boon as far as bringing up a rookie to man center field and do it. I mean, he's not doing incredible defensively yet, but he's very, very young, and he's probably going to be their center fielder for the long haul here. But he's having a great rookie season so far, just like a lot of National League rookies are. But then their pitching staff is where everything starts to fall apart. And that kind of explains how they started as low as they did. Taijuan Walker, I believe, has been let go, is he not?
Correct. Yeah.
He threw 4 starts, 22 innings, had a 9.13 ERA, a 14% or almost 15% strikeout rate. I'll give him a little credit there. 3.18 home runs per 9 innings.
Yeah, it was time for that contract to be over.
He was just bad. Zach Wheeler was hurt to start the year. Jesus Luzardo started out kind of slow. His first couple starts were really not good, but he's back on track. His FIP is in line with where it should be. His ERA is still bloated at 5, but he's figuring it out. He's striking out batters again. Andrew Painter is having some early career struggles, but he's still a very young, very talented pitcher. He'll probably get it figured out. But when Christopher Sanchez was the only guy who started out really hot, and they also lost Joan Duran to injury for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Like they didn't have anyone to get you to the late innings. And then once you got to the late innings, your main piece, your closer was out. So it made it really difficult to hold whatever lead you could build off of 4 guys that were playing well. And then an entire back half of the lineup that was just not performing at all. So we're seeing that turn. It also wasn't Rob Thompson's fault necessarily. There's a lot of injuries there, a lot of maybe Dave Dombrowski decisions to eat Taijuan Walker probably 2 years longer than he should have, that you could attribute to 4 of those 19 losses. So I don't know. It just, both of these early season firings are so weird. They're not the teams that needed to make a move, yet they're the teams that did.
Yeah, when the expectations are the highest, those are the teams that make drastic decisions. And I mean, what are they saying in Philly right now? Are they saying, "Oh, this is what they needed"? The Mattingly has kind of refocused the group, and now they can go be the Phillies again. Or are they saying, "Oh, this is going to happen no matter what"? Because that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at too. Like this roster was too talented to be Rockies bad.
Yeah.
And I mean, hell, even the Rockies aren't that bad. Like the Rockies are 18
still,
and 29. They're still really bad, but they're not
we're
that
still,
bad.
We're still a couple years away from Dave Dombrowski making this roster so bad that he gets fired.
Yeah. You think he's going to bring V-Mart out of retirement?
I think that would be a solid move.
That'd be a good move.
Yeah.
Let's see. Just any aside from the topics we've talked about, any like last second thoughts? I was just sitting here thinking, well, Mike Trout started out the season incredibly hot. The Angels were incredibly hot to start. and then they've fallen off a cliff, and they're actually worse than Rocky's bad.
Yeah,
So
it's I guess one thought that I had from the same division is that every single day I go and check to see what Nick Kurtz has done because he gets on base every single day. He's got a 40 game, it might be 41 now, 41 game on base streak. And at one point he had walked in 20 straight games, which was super awesome. He got really close to tying the major league record, which was 22 games straight with the walk.
hey, that's impressive. Yeah, this entire division is probably an episode on its own, but the Angels are losing in spite of Mike Trout. Mike Trout is through 45 games, this dude is hitting 238, 402, 481. The 402 is the key because he's walking over 20% of the time.
Yeah.
It's nuts. And he's got 11 bombs and he's got 5 steals.
So what you're saying is it's just like most of the other Angel seasons of the last decade?
Yeah, but this is like 2019 and earlier.
Yeah. It's like the older Mike Trout.
Because Mike Trout is literally 1 steal away from his high since 2019.
Yeah. I think he's feeling good.
Yeah.
That's fun to see.
And the Astros are starting to come around a bit.
I think the Astros are a whole episode on themselves. Like they have been quite a story.
Yeah.
With what they've had to deal with injury wise and otherwise.
And Emi's weird slider thing.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, cool. Well, that's just a taster of the type of knowledge that's been bouncing around in our head for a while. So we're going to try and keep bringing it to you.
Yeah, feels good.
It
get
really
some of that out there, right?
It really does. So let's get engaging. Send us messages, ask us questions. What are you guys thinking? Because I think the more that we interact, the more questions we're being asked, the more that we're answering, the more we'll have to force some stuff into the ether.
Yes.
So let us know on social medias that we don't use very often. Send us an email, actually, getawaydaypod@gmail.com. Ask us your questions. We will answer them here live on the show. So thank you very much, and we will see you next week. If you enjoy the podcast, please subscribe on your favorite podcasting app or YouTube to make sure you don't miss any future episodes. Join the conversation on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok @GetawayDayPod. If you enjoy card collecting, check out our sister YouTube channel @GetawayDayCards.